Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Spirit Live Girls Got Game. I'm Natasha, if you can't tell by this imposter's voice. I won't be doing a lot of talking today, but today is a big day because we've got all of our group members here today.
Yay.
So let's give some snaps for that because clapping's really bad for the mics. All right, so we finally have Kennedy and Elizabeth and Ella and Emma. We've got all the E's,
whole gang.
And the
What
K,
up?
of course.
And the K.
So, for our first topic today, what would we like to touch on? I mean, this week there's been a lot of updates in sports. Obviously, it's been a big week.
As usual.
But first, I think we kind of wanted to talk about something that we noticed last week. Is we kind of touched on it too. Female content creators that use sport and fitness as their source of income. So I don't know about any of you guys out there, but I like YouTube. You know, I dabble. And one of the YouTubers that I really liked that my roommates last year showed me was Whitney Simmons. And she's this really inspirational girl. She lives in Utah. I think she's 23, 24, maybe 26. Honestly, maybe she's 21. I don't know. But she started a YouTube channel about 5 years ago because she went through a big shift in her life with how she thought about fitness. And fitness kind of became more of like a therapy to her. And now she produces daily content videos such as like meals she eats, ways she stays healthy, gym routines. And we noticed that, you know, there's a lot of girls out there like that use content creating to do with sport and fitness as their source of income, such as like Georgie Stevenson, Sarah's Day, another YouTuber. She does a lot of blogs and stuff. She also has the cutest baby named Fox, because she is an Australian accent, so it's not Fox, it's Fox. But we noticed that, you know, with these YouTube channels, they collaborate with their Instagram and Twitter or whatever. They create these fitness ebooks, these food products, etc. And they receive a lot of hate online. I mean, it's nothing new. When you're on the internet, you're going to get a little bit of hate. There's going to be those haters, and you just got to ignore them. What's that Taylor Swift song? Oh, I don't know.
Shake it off. Shake it off?
Shake it off. Yeah, you just got to shake it
I
off.
hate that I knew that.
But we want to talk a little bit about body shaming and how this has really been key to these YouTubers' journeys. Ella, I know you're a supporter of the Wit Fit page.
Yeah. Also, something I noticed, there's so many, like, fitness YouTubers in Australia. Is Australia, like, really healthy?
It's like a powerhouse.
Like, what?
They have a
go.
lot of their own products. I also think it's because they're in the middle of the ocean that they have to create this little hub of fitness and
good point.
products. But yeah, they're definitely a hub.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting how probably most of those women that are, like, fitness content creators, I feel like they all start off just by, like, posting their workouts or something, and then eventually they get on to, like, I'm actually going to make an ebook. And I find, like, there's so many out there, and, like, what really, to be honest, this might kind of go against what we're trying to argue here, but are they not all the same thing? Like, they really pretty much are. And also, like, why would you pay $40 to buy an electronic book when you can just go to the gym and, like, do your own thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. So at the same time, I love what they're doing, and I think their content, like, their free content is more important than their paid content that you would have to buy.
Yeah,
if that
I
makes
know,
sense.
like, myself, like, I use a lot of their Instagram pages or, like, their videos where they describe workouts and stuff like that. And even when, I think when people are willing to pay $40 for an ebook or something, that's when people, like, they're looking at these women for inspiration. They see these women and they're kind of inspired by these women. They're empowered by these women because they relate to them a little bit. And so, you know, I think when you're at the point where you don't have the motivation to go to the gym, or you're too scared to go to the gym, because it happens. Like, as a girl, like, I remember being totally intimidated to go to the gym and everything. But, you know, these YouTubers and these women are creating basically an environment and this vibe that you can do it too. And I think there's a lot of people out there that just look at that and they're like, oh, what are you doing? You're just trying to show off. Like, oh, okay, whatever. You have a big butt. No one cares. Like, or like a lot of people call Whitney annoying and stuff like that. Like, if you go through the comments, there's a lot of hate. And there's a lot of positive too. Like, there's these girls that are like, oh my God, like, you're helping me so much. Like, thank you for this.
I think though, like, if you're in like the YouTube business, I would say, and you do all this inspirational content and stuff, you should expect to get hate, you know. And I think if you're in the YouTube industry, I think you should really expect to get all these hate comments and stuff, because you know, people, you can't please everyone. You can't be everyone's cup of tea, and you kind of have to learn to deal with that if you want to be a YouTuber or influencer or whatever. You kind of have to deal with that. And, you know, also I think, as you said, they're really inspirational and motivating and stuff like that. But I think there are some people who are just trying to mimic those people who come up with that content, and they actually do look annoying, and like, it's just, what are you doing? Like, you're totally copying her. And those people are like the people who do deserve those, like, okay,
those
don't
are the
copy
people
her.
in it, like, for fame.
Yeah,
like, you definitely see like the imitators that are trying to like set up their fitness page. But sometimes when I look at these Instagram fitness accounts, because they're all over my explore page now, thank you Instagram, I see them and I'm like, I can't really relate to this girl. Like, this girl is like thin as a pole and just like, and you know, when she's lifting weights, like, I don't know, I can't relate to that. But when I see girls that are like not more like normal looking, but girls that like obviously show that like they push themselves in the gym. They're not just doing like lifting the easy weights for the video. You know what I mean? Oh my God, that annoys me so much when they just lift like the 5-pounders for the video just to show you what the exercise is.
And like, if you're really thinking about like actual fitness, lifting 5 pounds doesn't really do anything for you.
It does,
like,
if you do like 30 reps.
Well,
you know
it's
what I mean?
like, it's good to start off with, but like if that's all you're lifting, like you're gonna,
well,
you build muscle memory over time, right? And
Yeah.
over time, those 30 reps are not going to do the same thing for you as they would the day you started. Like, you have to increase your weight as you keep going on.
And once you get heavier, like once your weights are getting heavier, like your form is harder to maintain. Oh my God, look at us in our like gym knowledge. Wait, should we all go to the gym after?
I was going to say, I haven't been to the gym in like over a year. And it was
But
with
we still
Elizabeth.
watch the fitness
What?
videos
Sorry?
online.
true. Okay, but something
When
I was
we
gonna
went
say.
to the gym
Oh my
last
God,
year.
that was terrible.
That was the last time I went to the gym.
Yeah, we planned out this whole like fitness thing we're gonna do. We got this app and we were all committed to going to the gym, and
We went once.
yeah, and then we were like, that was awesome, and then never did
And
it
then we
again.
never did it again.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
I think
times.
something else Natasha was saying that I think is kind of important to remember when you're looking at like all these fitness pages is that most of them, like, fitness is literally their life. Like, they don't work. Well, they do work, but
Exactly.
they don't go
Like,
to like
this
a 9 to
is
5.
their work.
That is their job. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind
True,
of, it's
a
kind
lot
of
of
hard
them
to
are
compare
like
yourself to
fitness
them.
trainers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
type
and
of
these
thing.
people, like, if you think about it, the difference between the imitators and the people that are actually on there to make a difference in the world, the people that are on there to make a difference, like, they have knowledge. They have knowledge about, like, oh, like, the types of foods you could be eating, like, I don't have that knowledge, so I don't even know, but, like, they're actually teaching you some things, because working out, like, you can definitely be working out wrong.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can be
yeah.
working out and you can like be leading up to an injury. You know
It
what
all
I mean?
depends on what your goals are, right? If even such things, if like you want to lose weight and you just don't do cardio or just do weights, like you're not gonna
Yeah,
do
it's
that.
got to be like a
yeah.
mix, right?
So yeah, it's a really good source to go to those people if you like, or even if you want to like get a workout program, like, you know, those little videos where there's like, oh, work out 10 minutes a day and you'll get abs or whatever, you know?
Not really.
So, well, no,
Pinterest.
but
I wish.
you know, there's like stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think also, obviously our show is about women in sports, but I find it interesting how, like, all these fitness pages, I find that the men's or like the guys' fitness pages are more about like being powerful and like doing 100 squats and
Look
like
at
stuff
how
like
big
that.
my arms
Yeah,
are.
whereas like the girls' ones are more about like I look good in a bikini, you know, which is kind of sad. But that's why I like seeing athletes like pretty much all of the Canadian female athletes I can think of are more about being strong and like being able to, you know, win in their sport. Like they're not really so much thinking of that kind of thing.
I know I saw Natalie Spooner is on Battle of the Blades
I was
this
gonna
year,
bring that up
right?
before, kid.
And she she's a Canadian hockey player and she's doing figure skating for Battle of the Blades, and she posted on her Instagram.
Love that show.
I think it was on the weekend, and she said how like the one thing that she wanted to do. Ella pulled it up for me. What a gem. Where is it? She said, coming into this competition, I knew I wanted to lift my partner and that I was strong enough to do it. Thankful my partner trusted me to lift him upside down.
And the picture
And
is so cool.
It's literally like they swapped gender roles, and she flipped him instead of the other way around.
Oh my god, I love that.
I know. Oh,
She's
Natalie
like
Spooner.
literally like my role model to begin with. Like she's one of my favorite female athletes. So like when I saw that, I was so excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Yeah, because, like, I guess we were kind of talking about it last week, too, with, like, figure skating and gymnastics Elizabeth was touching on, about, like, the gender roles and how different it is to be a male versus a female in those kind of sports. So seeing that post, I saved it because I was like, I want to talk about this next week. So that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And didn't Natalie Spooner win Amazing Race? I'm
They
pretty
came
sure
in
she did.
second.
Second place. Darn it.
Her and
That
Megan
would have been the
Mickelson.
first all-female team, right?
I have
To
no
win,
idea.
I think.
I used to watch that show religiously, and now I
Me
just
too.
I just don't
Don't have
anymore.
time.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
School.
But what would you guys say is your favorite source of workout activity? You know what I mean? Like your favorite way to stay active, just while we're talking about this.
Does hockey count?
Yeah, why not? That's a workout.
Hockey.
It used to be gymnastics. Well, now it's just probably just going to the gym, cardio, stretching.
I'd
Not
like to
a-
get in the gym more because let me tell you, I was on the ice for the first time in 6 months on the weekend, and
It's not good.
it was not good. I was not in shape. I skated down the ice once and was like, so
Well, that's kind of expected.
it'd be
Yeah.
nice to get back in the gym and actually do something for myself.
I love hot yoga,
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
which is so
Bring
fun,
that up, Ella.
right? Guys, you should all
please.
come to Etobicoke and do a class with me because it's so fun. Because it's like you don't think it would be hard, and then when you're actually doing it, your legs are like shaking, and then you leave and you're drenched in sweat, and like it should be gross, but instead you just feel like,
Yeah.
wow, I feel like I just lost 20
Yeah.
pounds. Like I feel like my mental state is so clear. Like, and it's so much fun.
I like
mean,
spin classes too.
yeah, like Natasha
Those
was
are
saying that a
fun.
few weeks ago. The first week when you weren't here, Kennedy, but she
No,
was
I was here.
talking. Oh,
I was here.
oh,
week
you weren't
one.
here the second
Elizabeth
week,
wasn't
right?
here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then for Elizabeth, we were talking about spin class and like all these different types of fitness, and Natasha was saying how like going in there, everyone in there is like so powerful and like
Yeah.
ready to go and strong.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's
so
like
cool.
vibe.
yeah, that's like in some gyms, like depending on what gym you go to, but like at the MAC, like Anatomy
So the
Athletic Center,
athletes.
yeah, you just go there and it's like either really like strong people or just like varsity athletes, and you're like, okay, hi.
I'll just leave.
I think
Yeah.
different
I'll
people
go to the
feed
rack
off of the
instead.
energy though, because
Yeah.
I know that like sometimes like maybe I'll go to the Mac because I feel like being surrounded by that energy, and other times I'll just go to like my apartment gym where it's a lot of elderly people, or it's usually just empty.
That's the pace.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on like the kind of environment you want to surround yourself for sure.
I want to go to the Mac gym because like A, it's free. You can just kind of scan your card and get in, and like it's a really nice gym. But I always feel so intimidated because there's always like these huge guys that are in there every day, or like women's hockey teams, and they're lifting like
Yeah.
so much more than I am, and it's like, whew.
Or it's even just like seeing people you know. Like
That's
when
the
I'm
awkward
at the
part.
gym,
That's
like
awkward.
I'm not wearing any makeup. I'm not like I'm literally sweating my face off. And when I work out, like my face gets really red to the point
Okay,
where
me
like
too.
sometimes people will come up to me and be like, "Are you okay?" Like it's fine. I'm definitely fine. We're good. We're working
Yeah.
hard. It runs in the family, you know. We just get really red faces when we work out. But Like,
know,
I
that's-
don't need everyone to see me like that.
But you know what? That's what the gym's for. If you come to
Yeah,
the gym with
good
a
point.
full face of makeup and nice clothes, then you're not there to work out. You're there to take pictures.
Okay, but a point is,
Fair.
some people are there to work out. Whitney Simmons, let me bring it all
Wow, look
back.
at this.
Whitney Simmons, I'm just a huge fan now.
Like, how do you work out with that much makeup? Like, how does it not, like, just all go on your shirt?
I know. Hit up her YouTube page. She's got the products for it. But anyways, like some people, they do feel more confident going in a full face of makeup for sure.
Yeah.
Like that definitely used to be me when I was younger going to fencing, even though like now that I think of it, you're wearing a mask. Like no one sees your face anyways. God, Natasha.
It's like the least sport that you'd have to worry about that.
Exactly. But like some people do, like if that's what's gonna get you to the gym, if that's what's
Do
gonna
it.
make you feel good about working
Yeah.
out, like do it. Like exactly how you said, like at the end of the day, like you're there to work out, like you're there to work hard. Like who cares if your face is red, but who cares if your face is covered in makeup? Like if you shouldn't care if someone's like sweating their like face off and their face is all red, then you also shouldn't care if like they have their
Yeah.
eyebrows done and their
Even
mascara on.
With our intramural soccer team, shout out the Ramily. My face gets so freaking red, like you were saying, and it's really embarrassing. But it's like it's such a small room, and like everyone's sweating. You know, like it's just part of it. And I'm kind of like you said about when you were younger, like in high school, that was like such a big insecurity. Like I hated getting that red face, like literally just walking in the halls of school because it's so hot in there, right?
Yeah.
But like now I'm like, well,
Whatever.
that means I'm working, so it's fine. It's part of it, you
Put
know?
me on, coach.
Yeah.
Look at my
literally,
face.
I literally like sweat under my eyes, like really bad, like under here, and like it looks like I'm crying. And sometimes like it'll like go in my
Honey, are you
go like
okay?
in my eye, so my eyes go all red. And it really
Aw.
looks like I'm crying.
And it stings.
And it hurts, so it's like I kind of am crying, but at the same time I'm just sweating, you know? And everyone's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Please leave me alone."
Yeah. But I think, yeah, that whole industry of female, I don't know, what would you call them? Like fitness?
Influencers, I
fitness
guess. Like fitness influencers,
Yeah.
gurus.
Yeah.
You have
I
to
think
be-
it's really good, though.
Yeah, you have to be very careful, though, like, in that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
in
There's so
the-
many young people following you, right? Like, that's why I think it's
Yeah.
good. That's what like,
Yeah.
I was saying is, like, I think it's awesome that we're seeing all of these, like, really healthy YouTubers, content creators, whatever, putting that stuff out there instead of, like, I don't know. I feel like it's a relatively new thing. Like I know, like Kayla Cena's was probably like one of the first ones, again from Australia, but or New Zealand, something like that. I don't know.
I think we should
Somewhere
do a field
down
trip
there.
to Australia.
Yeah, next week
Little
you'll be
Girl
hearing
Scout
to us
Games.
from
I'm down.
Australia.
Good day, mate.
Okay, I'm done.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a really cool industry, and I think it's
I think it's
a good
growing.
influence.
for
Yeah,
sure.
Oh, definitely.
It's just, are the people hopping on the bandwagon because they want the fame of being an influencer, or are they just really out there to like share their workouts and their knowledge with the world?
There's
Honestly-
definitely. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I honestly think it's half and half because I
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
so many people just like being, like you said, like some people say, oh, you're just like showing off your butt. But some people are doing that. Like they
Yeah, for
just
sure.
want to show off.
Yeah, or like when you see the Instagram videos of like their workout of the day, the angle is just so wrong. The
People are
angle is
sitting on
literally
the
going
ground, like,
straight from behind.
Straight
and
from
you're like,
behind,
okay,
so it's like
so
trying to see
like
the
90-degree
form, you know?
angle.
sis is squatting
like,
50 pounds and like all you see is her butt popping out at the
Yeah,
back.
there
And
you
it's like,
go.
well, are you doing it right, or are you just doing this so you
And-
can like
Yeah.
show people what you
Yeah.
look like?
That's why I like some of those YouTubers like Georgie Stevenson or Sarah's Day, because they're not crazy about it. Like obviously they're very passionate, but they almost put more of the weight on the eating well part because they realize that like I have a life. I can't be in the gym every day like some of those other YouTubers that are just like
Yeah.
unrealistic, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why like especially Georgie Stevenson, she's like her channel is fitness related or fitness focused, but it's not all fitness, if that makes sense. Like she does talk about like other stuff, and like I said, it's not like not going to the gym is like gonna ruin her life, right? Which is important to have that balance, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely going. I feel like if you overwork yourself and go to the gym too much, it's not too
Yeah.
good for you either. There has to be like a healthy balance there. So yeah, it's sometimes very useful to have those resources to look at.
Yeah, well, shall we transition?
Move
I
on?
have something I want to bring up. I think it was Natasha put this on her story a few days ago, but it's been all over everywhere. The 2018 Jordan Football Association final women's league game, there we go, long name, in Amman, and one of the players' hijab fell off in the soccer match, and her opponents like all ran around her and formed a circle to like keep it private while she fixed it, which I thought was so cool because it just shows like, yeah, you are opponents, like yes, you're going against each other, but it's a bigger problem.
At the end of the day, it's more than a sport, you know?
Yeah.
And it happened so quick. Like,
They didn't even
I
hesitate.
had to watch the video a couple times to realize like
Yeah.
what was actually happening, and then I read the caption and I was like, oh, cool, okay.
Yeah.
But like I didn't even realize that her hijab had started coming off.
Yeah.
But as soon as it did, first of all, I noticed that like she stopped playing.
Yeah.
So
Like immediately covered her head.
yeah, because that's what like she's used to doing and everything. But then the other players like immediately like. First, I
No
thought they were like
hesitation.
trying to like make sure she was okay, like pick her up off the ground or something, and then I realized that like they were covering her.
Protecting her, yeah.
And first of all, for them to know that like she like needs to be covered, she needs her privacy is like amazing. And like second of all, that they would just do that right away, like stop the entire game instead of being like, oh haha, she doesn't have the ball anymore because she had the ball at the time.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, well now I could just take the ball and run with it, like they did that out of their own hearts, and it was so fast, and it was just
Yeah.
really amazing. That's what we're here for, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, my parents told me about it, and I was like, someone sent me the video. I need to talk about this next week.
Yeah, it's like another important thing to notice, I think, is that they're kids. Like, they're literally young kids, and I think, like, a lot of adults wouldn't do that. I feel like, I mean, some would, but, like, I feel like kids have a more pure heart, and, like, they realize, oh, we need to help this person, let's
Yeah.
do it, and they don't think about, oh, I can beat her and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really special moment, I think. And I don't know if you guys follow the Olympic channel, but they always
yeah.
they always post like videos of like inspirational stories where, like, for example, like sprinters, one fell down and another one picked her up and helped her. So that really like
Yeah.
it just reminded me of that video. So I think
Like
those
good
moments.
sportsmanship.
Yeah.
I think it's also important for that video to point out that like they're in Amman, which is like the capital of Jordan. Like I feel like first of all it would be rare to see like have someone playing in a hijab in North America, and second of all, like you said, Natasha, like it's great that they knew what to do in that situation. I feel like that's also dependent on like where they are. I feel like here people would not react as quickly to go help her and do
they
that,
wouldn't
right?
know right away
Yeah.
like what to do.
Which is cool to see that cultural element in the game too.
Yeah.
Like they knew right away that we have to cover up. Like I'm being real, I wouldn't have known to do that.
No, I would be, what? Why is she stopping?
Yeah.
What's
I
going
I know,
on?
I thought she
Yeah.
was hurt at first, but
Yeah.
I think that's also just because of like the culture that we're in here. Like we
Exactly.
don't see it as much, and also we just don't think about it. We're not, you know, and one like the thing that I did right away was compare it to men's soccer. I was saying, well, if this happened in men's soccer, and then I realized that like men don't wear a hijab, so. Like, if they're, I don't know, another headpiece that men wear, I'm not super educated, but if something similar
Yeah.
happened in men's soccer, would they stop as well? And I think they would, honestly.
I hope they would.
I hope they would too. And
Yeah.
it was just amazing how fast it happened. And so, good job, world.
Yay.
Good job, everybody.
I know we also wanted to talk a little bit about the NHL. I was watching the Leafs game the other day. I hope you guys saw that. They literally had like a 2-minute block where one of the people were talking about this, but the NHL announced that they were making plans for a potential women's league when the time is right. That's the important
AKA
part.
right now.
Good point. So I'm just going to read this little blurb from Sportsnet. As hundreds of women's hockey players continue their boycott, the NHL is preparing for every scenario in case the matter needs resolving. That includes the potential of starting a women's league, but only if the time is right. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman has been very consistent about this. He says he will not get involved as long as the NWHL is still playing and in operation, but it is believed that he also knows that if something changes, he has to have a plan. He won't comment on this. He wants to stay out of it. There's word that the NHL is working on a women's league if the time ever becomes necessary. So because the NWHL is still technically in operation, the NHL like has a tentative plan, but they don't want to like bless you.
Sorry.
They don't want to like get involved and step in. And then Elliot Friedman says, I think 6 teams, maybe 2 in Canada, but it sure sounds like there is a plan being worked on and put in place in case the NHL needs to step in. And just to throw a little stat in there, the undefeated Boston Pride currently lead the NWHL through 6 games with a perfect 6-0 record. So yay, go Boston, I guess. Female Boston, not male Boston, no.
Not NHL Boston.
Yeah. But I got so excited when I saw that on TV because I feel like that's kind of been on the back burner for a while and we haven't really heard anything about
It's kind
the
of
NWHL.
died down.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
know, like it's just like any news there is. It's
Yeah.
huge for like maybe a couple days at most, and then like this
NHL
was
takes
devastating
over.
news. We talked about this last year in our show when it happened.
Yeah, it was
and now we're
really
bringing
sad.
it back up, which is I think it's a good thing as well that we can keep bringing it back up because it means that like people are actually like still paying attention to it. I mean, obviously, of course, it's critical part of the players' lives who are boycotting it right now. One thing that like the impression that I kind of get is that because the NWHL right now is like in action, like it's happening, I think when the NHL says, oh, if we need to step in, and that kind of gives you the impression that's like they think they can
don't
do a
need to,
better job
You know what,
than
I
what's
don't-
happening right now, which is totally true. Everything could be made way better
Yeah.
than it is right now. But I'm also thinking like, okay, if he's making all these plans, does he just want to have full control of the women's hockey league, or is he really doing this for women's hockey? Is he really doing this like, because I think if he was really doing this for women's hockey, he would be the one stepping in and helping the NWHL.
I was just gonna
Yep.
say, like, I don't understand why he's so focused on creating a new league and folding the NWHL. Like, why don't you just sponsor the NWHL like what the NBA does with the WNBA,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then expand it?
Yeah, I feel
Like, give more teams. Why do you need to start an entire new league and when there's already one that you can build off of?
I feel like he just wants control and he wants
Exactly.
profit and
Yeah.
he doesn't actually
Typical Gary
The
Bettman.
P word.
Yeah, I don't think he actually like. Of course, I can't talk for him. I don't know what he's thinking, but like it looks like he just really cares more about the money than the actual women's league. Plus, I'm scared. What if it's like it's worse for them? What if they have no free word? They just have to do whatever they say.
Yeah.
And also, what if this plan just falls through? Because I know there have been a lot of plans before to like, oh, maybe give a chance to the CWHL again. There has been so many talks about so many different plans, and I'm just wondering, what if this is another just like talk? What if
Putting
it
it
falls?
off,
Yeah, what
yeah.
if it falls through again? Because it doesn't seem like it's happening right now. It just seems like a plan. So
Gary Bettman, if you're listening, expand the NWHL.
I bet he is listening, yeah.
Yeah, for
probably.
sure.
one of our 10 listeners.
Yeah. But I don't know, that's exciting and hopefully we get something out of it.
I'd love to have a women's hockey team back in Toronto.
Yeah.
I miss it. I
How
never
was
actually
the
went,
the
but,
Dream Gap tour? Did anyone go?
I didn't.
No, I wanted to,
I
but
wanted
yeah.
to so
It's
bad.
like school and everything
I don't
starting
remember what happened that weekend, but I know I had something and I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to so bad. I like that they're doing that though. I think it's a really good idea. And fun fact, a girl I went to high school with is actually playing in it,
Aw.
which I think is really cool.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
She's really good at hockey.
Well, I mean, yeah, hopefully something happens, please.
Go women's hockey.
There's also the 2019 skating World Championships, I believe. Elizabeth, do you want to confirm?
so Skate Canada just happened literally 2 days ago, and it was honestly, in my opinion, one of the most eventful Skate Canadas
good.
I've seen. Yeah, so actually a Canadian ice dance team, Gillis and Poirier. I'm probably butchering those names, but a Canadian ice dance couple won gold for the first time ever. This is their first ever gold on in a Grand Prix or a high-level competition like this. So very happy for them. As we all know, Tessa Virtue and Scott Moore retired. So...
Sad.
Maybe these guys are the replacement for them, you know? You never know.
No one can replace them.
No one can replace them. I totally
They're
agree.
the second coming.
Yeah,
There we go.
they're second coming. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, these guys are great. They're still really young. They're still developing. And yeah, this is for sure a great start because no one really, they were kind of in the shadows before. No one really saw them, and now they just exploded, and it was like amazing. So that's a very, very great start for Canada. And in the women's individual program, it's a very inspirational story. A 15-year-old skater won gold by a huge margin, actually. Alexandra Trusova, 15 years old, from Russia. She did 3 quadruple jumps.
Oh my god.
Which is crazy. She's 15. She looks like she's 11. She's amazing. She's just like, I mean, it's obvious when she's performing that she still doesn't have that confidence that comes with age. She still doesn't have that facial expression, but her technical aspect, it's crazy. Like 3 quadruple jumps. That's
so hard.
Insane. That's really insane. And I think there's such a bright future for her. And I'm really excited to see what she does. I mean, as also a Russian star that was performing there was Evgenia Medvedeva.
Love her.
Yeah, she didn't.
I was just gonna say.
I'm not even gonna try that.
It's a good thing Elizabeth's here. 'Cause none of us would have been able to say that name.
Yeah, but anyway, she didn't do too well, unfortunately, in this competition.
Sad.
She wasn't, I'm pretty sure, she wasn't even on the podium, which is upsetting because she switched coaches. Her coach is now American. She trains in America even though she's competing for Russia. So I think she was better off with her old coach because now things have seemed to be just going downhill for her. So that's kind of sad to see because she was one of my favorite figure skaters of all time. And just to touch a little bit on the men's side, Yuzuru Hanyu of Japan, he just wins it all. He's the all-time favorite in the men's section. He won by the biggest margin recorded in figure skating history.
Which was, do you know?
Yes, I actually do. I'm just going to pull up the scores.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's all good. I'm just going to pull it up. He won by,
Because I feel like with figure skating, it's always pretty close, just because it's so specific.
yeah, 59.82 points. That was, it was his... That was his score. Yeah, 59.82 points.
Huh. Wow.
So that was kind of crazy. He's, biggest margin in history.
Yeah.
Which was crazy because, he just wins it all. I don't know. He's amazing. He does it all. He very rarely falls or stumbles or anything, and even when he does, he still wins because he's just so good. He's that good. Literally, he's my favorite skater by far.
I almost not that I forgot about figure skating or anything, but we're working on this 30-minute show for our TV lab, and ours is all about Canadian sports, and we're talking about Gabrielle Daleman.
Oh yeah,
She's a queen.
she's awesome.
I thought that just a good segue there was so she was competing in the 2019, I think this is in 2019 or 2018, I think it was probably 2018, figure skating WTT, and in warm-ups she was going backwards. No, I think she was going forwards, and the other one of her competition was skating forwards, and they just crash, when it's half your body and half their body, and she just spun and bam, right onto the floor.
Yeah.
And you can tell she hesitated to get up. She was like, oh, that was not good. Then she went on to compete, and she didn't do great. She fell a lot, but then later she announced that she had a concussion. She broke 3 ribs, and she basically shattered her hip.
Wow.
And she did the whole routine yet. Like I said, she didn't really land much, but she still skated through it and like
insane.
you can't
Yeah.
tell when you're watching it because she just looks so like collected. Like I don't know
That's
about you guys,
crazy.
but if I broke 3 ribs, I would
I literally
certainly not be
like,
jumping in the air.
Yeah.
I have bad hips, but it's literally like a muscle issue.
Yeah.
And like I literally cannot lift my feet off the ground like an inch when
No, hers was straight up
when
like
they're bad, and
gone.
hers is shattered, and Sis is
Yeah.
like jumping in circles and stuff.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, first of all, she's just like a really inspiring person.
Mhm.
She's a good athlete.
She's Canadian. She competed in the Olympics in Pyeongchang.
Is she not from like Newmarket too? She's from like
Yeah, I
really
think
close
she's
to
on-
Toronto,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
She's around here.
Yeah, she's awesome athlete. I love her artistry on the ice.
Yeah.
She's great, yeah. And truly another great Canadian athlete, as you
Mhm.
said.
She's from Toronto.
Somewhere in
According
Toronto, I
to
can't
Google.
remember. I should know. I just like when I was watching hers, obviously yes, I was watching it and going, holy crap, she's doing all this with all those broken bones and stuff, but I was also thinking like she's not just like up there doing it, like she's performing, like she has her performance face on.
Yeah.
She's like ready to go, like at the end she bows, she's probably like, thank God I finished that and didn't die, like
Yeah.
She's probably in so much pain. Like I couldn't even
right.
imagine.
Yeah, so I just thought that was really
And she's only 21.
impressive. Yeah, and she's young too. Yeah.
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 I mean, that's kind of young for skating. I mean,
that's true. I feel like with
skaters,
like
yeah,
skating, snowboarding,
they
skiing, they all retire
when they're, like,
early.
20.
Yeah,
Well, can
just-
you imagine the pain on your like
Oh.
knees, like that? Ugh.
I
yeah.
don't want to.
That can't be
like,
good.
Yeah. Plus, like in skating, you have to have that flexibility, and it, with age, it gets more difficult to
Yeah.
maintain that. So
I literally feel like my muscles are depleting after like how long have I played hockey? Like 15 years of hockey, 16 years of hockey.
And then there's people.
And
that
there's
play-
people jumping around in circles and like,
Yeah.
oh, that would hurt so bad.
Mhm.
I think my knees are bad. That's
Yeah,
insane.
I think figure skating is one of those sports that anyone can like. You might not know like what the heck, like what jump she's doing, but I think anyone can like appreciate it and be like, that is hard, you know. Where I feel like
Yeah.
with hockey, like, I mean, I don't play hockey, but every so often I'll look at it and I'm like, I could probably do that, and then I think about it again and I'm like, no, I
Maybe
definitely
not.
couldn't, you know.
I know. I always feel like I like hype myself up. Like someone does something, I'm like, I could definitely
Yeah.
do that. And then I
Yeah.
get on the ice and I try it. And I'm like, oh, never mind.
That's what I mean. Whereas like figure
Yeah.
skating, you look at it and you're like, holy crap, that was awesome. I can't do that, and I have like so much respect for that
Yeah.
athlete, right?
Sometimes
yeah.
I like get thinking a lot, and I think that like NHL goalies can probably skate faster than me with like all their equipment on, and
Their
then I'm
legs
like,
are probably stretchier than me as well.
yeah, I'm like, that's really upsetting. But
Yeah.
you know, they're professionals. It's fine.
Hmm. Yeah, but yeah, I think that's so cool that athletes, they have this like this mental thing. Like I know when we did our feature on you last year, Natasha, you were saying like fencing is 90% mental and 10% physical, and I feel like every athlete has that, like you have that off switch in your brain to like, yes, I'm hurting, or yes, I'm in pain, but I'm gonna like ignore it and I'm just gonna compete.
Yeah.
And if I don't win, whatever, but I'm gonna skate like I can.
I feel like sometimes like
You know?
adrenaline pumps so much too, and
Yeah,
it's like
you don't even
Yeah.
notice
you don't
it.
even know. It's like I remember last year, and not last year, a couple years ago in practice, we were doing this drill, and like one of our defensemen took a slap shot from the point and hit me right in the arm where there's no padding.
Oh.
And like I didn't even feel it. Everyone's like,
We're
"Are you
all
okay?"
cringing.
I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." I finished the drill, and like as soon as I stopped, I'm like, "Wow, my arm's broken. This is cool."
Oh.
And it hurt so
Yeah.
bad. Like skin was broken. There was a bruise already, and it happened like a minute ago.
Yeah.
It was insane. But like
Yeah.
at first, I didn't even feel it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you're like in that competition mode and you're like,
Mhm.
okay, I have to do this, and then something happens and you're like,
It's the last thing you're
Okay,
thinking of.
yeah.
It's like
you're
you
like,
expect it to
whatever.
hurt, and it's like, ah.
Oh, it
And it's
doesn't.
like, oh, it doesn't hurt, and you keep going. As soon as you stop, it's
Nice.
like,
Yeah.
just kidding, it hurts.
yeah.
But yeah, there's so many athletes that have been through, whether it's like an actual injury or like a
Yeah,
little, what's it called? Air fingers, whatever. Bunny ears.
Sprain.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where you like it's an emotional trauma, like something just happened like a
Yeah.
day before you had to compete, like stuff like that, and they just have that,
Yeah.
like I said, that off switch to just keep going.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
don't-
impressive.
I don't think there's a professional athlete in the world who didn't have to deal with that at some
Exactly.
point, you know, and you just have to learn to do
Mhm.
that. You just have to, because
Yeah.
if you don't, then everything's gonna fail.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that also goes back to like what we were talking about last week with like the effects like a coach can have on
I was just-
athletes. Yeah, go ahead.
No,
then
I
you
kind of
say it.
wanted to say like just how much do you think the coach has a responsibility to either tell the player not to play or kind of tell them to
Get
like
off
you know
the ice,
think and
rest.
yeah exactly
Yeah.
like do you think they should have a say or do you think it all should be on the athlete? Because I mean the coach's best interest should be the athlete.
Yeah.
And
But at the
maybe
end of
like
the day,
because of
like-
that athlete's so involved in adrenaline and probably not thinking clearly. Like she could have gone on the ice and made her injury worse. Like as
probably did.
amazing as it was, but exactly. So
Yeah.
do you think the coach should have stepped in and said like you're not
You're
okay?
done.
Like
Yeah.
be aware of that. It's
a
so
tough
hard because I
question.
know you
Yeah.
want it to be up to them, but
I think it gets to a point because like the coach doesn't know the kind of pain that the athlete's in. You know, like the athlete could be saying they're fine and they really are fine.
Or they
And,
could be
like-
saying they're fine, like she
Exact-
probably
and they're
did, and
not
totally
fine.
not
And they're
fine,
totally
right?
not.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, it's a tough, I think they have to judge based on performance and what they, like how they perform versus how they like regularly perform. And if there's like a big difference, I think that's when the coach should step in and
Yeah. And I feel like it's also, like you were saying about a coach, Emma, like, I think the coach can definitely be like, Gabby, you're not okay, get off the ice. But in the end, if she's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm doing it, like, you can't really...
It's ultimately the athlete's
Yeah,
choice,
yeah,
right?
I
The
agree.
coach can make suggestions and
Yeah.
stuff, but it's
be like, hey, you probably shouldn't do
yeah, I think
this.
it's the coach's job partially to just make the athlete aware of like, okay, well, I think
risk.
I think you're like seriously injured. If you go on, you could make it worse. It's up to you.
and it also
kinda thing.
depends, I feel like, on what you have coming up after, like, say it's like 5 months before the Olympics. Then I
Yeah.
would say, I feel like both the athlete and the coach would agree, like, no, I need to get off the ice
Yeah.
and, like,
Yeah.
save it for the Olympics, right?
Exactly. That
Yeah.
makes sense. It's a
And
good
then
point.
there's those unfortunate times when they do get injured right before the Olympics, like
yeah.
Lori Blouin of Canada, and then she just went on to do it anyways and won silver. But like,
Didn't she like break her face or something? Or was that
well, she
someone
competed
else?
with she had like a huge black eye. I think
Yeah.
she just fell. I don't think she really broke anything, but so that's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, no, I remember her like pictures and stuff with the medal, and her face is like.
Okay, but she looks so cool, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's sick though.
I think it's the most devastating thing is when you injure yourself before the Olympics to the point where you can't compete.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, I
that's
know.
just
I
like
cannot imagine that feeling. That's happened to me like in high school before a game. Like I've like pulled something and I'm
Yeah.
like, but
And
I
that's not
wanna
even a
go
major
on, and
game.
that's literally like not an important game at all.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine working your whole life for something and then like it
It
being taken away from
breaking
you
a
that
leg
quickly.
yeah.
And by your own body betraying you. It's not even like
It's not like
something
someone else
had
did it to
happened
you.
or something. Yeah, exactly. It's like your own body like
It's like
has
you're
failed
just,
you.
you're
and
working so hard
oh my
for this,
God.
and then like because
Yeah.
of that, your body's just like, haha, just
Yeah.
kidding.
Nope,
And you're
you
like,
can't do
no.
it.
Yeah, and I think not to like bring Mark McMorris up again, like I think I do every episode, but
it's fine.
he like 2018 like
Almost died.
January-ish, like literally almost died
No,
from
it
internal
was-
injuries. No, it wasn't January
it
because the
was-
Olympics were in January. Weren't
It was 2017.
okay,
It was
so
like March
late
2017
or something. Yeah,
I think it was like it was like 10 months or something before the Olympics.
yeah, like basically almost died, and then 11 months later went back to the Olympics. I mean, he didn't do great, but like he went
got
back.
bronze,
right?
did he
yeah.
not?
Yeah. But like
Oh, he got bronze?
He wanted
Yeah.
higher,
Oh.
obviously, because he's never won anything higher than
Yeah.
bronze in the Olympics. But like, I'll take a bronze.
when you
fine.
literally
I'll take it
almost
just
died.
making it because isn't like just making it hard enough like
exactly
through
just to get
qualifications
through.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Wow,
So-
that's wild.
I
Yeah.
remember he did so good too, and then I feel like I remember like on his last jump something like he had like a hand touch or something. Like his others were like so good, and then his last one was almost perfect except for
Yeah.
this like one slip up, and
Yeah.
because of that,
That's why I like
Like
watching
Max
snowboarding
Perot
too.
and-
Snowboarding is actually I like Winter
love
Olympics just
snowboarding.
because it's a lot of sports that I don't realize how much I like until I watch them. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god, that was cool. And then when you start to understand like how the points work, and then it becomes just more interesting because then you feel like you know what's happening.
Yeah.
I love watching
And I
snowboarding.
think
It's
something else
interesting.
about it too is like it's an individual sport,
Right.
but like I'm just thinking like the Mark McMorris one of the X Games this year, like he got to the bottom of the hill. This was like his comeback run, right? And he like did everything perfectly, and he gets to the bottom, and all of the guys he's like competing against really
like,
are like,
yeah.
oh my god, you did it! Like they're all hugging him, and like
Well, I
it's
think
such
they
a
can all
cute moment.
appreciate what each
Oh,
other
yeah.
is doing because they're all going through it.
Yeah.
Like almost
Yeah.
similarly. I mean,
And I
everyone
feel
has
like
their own stories. but-
snowboarding or skiing, like I said, snowboarding, skiing, and figure skating, I feel like are the big three where it's like very common and very easy to have major injuries.
Yeah, they're,
And then to come back from them and like still compete, like you said,
they're
everyone
dangerous
can
sports.
yeah,
I
acknowledge
remember I
that.
watched, I think it was in like sport marketing grade 12 or something. I watched, like my teacher showed us this video, and it was like this guy, can't even remember his name, but like he was training for the Olympics like so hard, and like a couple months before he had like a really, really bad brain injury. Like he like misjudged a jump or something, and like it was in a half pipe. Instead of like landing the half pipe, he smacked his face off the edge, knocked out. And
that hurts to listen to.
Yeah, and like he literally like slid down the ramp like face first, and he like did not move. Like it was so bad, and like he still.
Oh, I hate like watching the.
It like affected his eyesight. It affected like his entire life, and like now he has like a traumatic brain injury, and he can never snowboard again.
Like even in the
And this was,
Olympics,
like,
when
right
something
before the
happens
Olympics.
and it like just everything goes dead silent, and you don't know what's happening. You're like, I can't breathe, and I'm not even there. I'm like, oh my god.
And
Like,
I remember this guy was like paralyzed for a while. Like he couldn't move. They had to do a bunch of like rehab for him, and like he's still not the same person that he was. And,
Yeah. So I think
like,
that makes it more impressive when someone does come back,
yeah,
because it's like you realize like
how serious it could have
yeah,
been.
and you have to put in so much work to come back from major injuries like that.
Oh yeah.
well, yeah, you're not even just trying to get to your best. You're trying to physically get to where you were, and then get to your like.
Exactly.
It's like you're further
It's driving me
behind.
crazy. I don't even remember this guy's name.
It can even sometimes be like you first have to learn to walk and
Yeah,
to
it could be
stand
as
again.
as
and stuff.
Yeah, like he
beginning
had to
of that.
completely like relearn
Yeah.
how to like walk, talk,
Yeah.
like everything.
Well, speaking of sport marketing, why don't we have 4 minutes left of the show. Why don't we wrap it up with what we've had happening in sport media this week? If anyone has a cool story or like what you're working on in class, something interesting.
We're all overwhelmed.
True
There's
that.
so
Stuff
much
is adding
going
up.
on. They're
did you
hitting
guys
us
write?
with all the assignments at once.
Yeah, it's a test, and we're all gonna pass, guys. It's okay.
Ooh, I know. I believe in us.
I'm curious, what did you guys write for your blog post number 2? Because I feel like that's an interesting topic. They're very
Blog
interesting
post.
takes. I wrote about why the Edmonton Oilers are gonna come back this season. I hesitate saying it because it's
You're like,
a little too early to judge.
Yeah.
But
I think my dad
I
would
wrote
like
a-
that take. My dad likes the Oilers, but I did how the Hamilton Bulldogs are doing one full season post-championship, I should say, because I lost marks for being factually incorrect. Because
Wow.
apparently a season in 15 games is 2 seasons post-championship.
Ryan,
So, I'd like to say 1 season post-championship, and the
Yeah.
answer is they're not doing very good.
Some of
But
that.
we're getting somewhere. They're getting better.
Mhm.
They already look better now than they did at the beginning of the season.
yeah. Did anyone write
So that's good.
a female sport?
I wrote
Yeah.
about Simone Biles throwing the first pitch at the World Series game.
Oh,
yeah.
that was awesome.
unreal. So
That
she
was
just did a whole
amazing.
backflip.
Best
Yeah.
first pitch
Yeah.
ever.
What are you doing?
I was like, not only did she set the bar like extremely high for future first pitchers, but I just think that like the more they get athletes that are like actually not good people, but like she represents so much more than just
Yeah.
a sport. I was like, that's amazing because you're introducing her to a whole other like sport and field that maybe people don't know who she was. Because like baseball fans and gymnastic fans, I don't know how much they overcross.
Yeah.
But like her showing up to a World Series game, not just a regular
Yeah.
game, people are gonna be like, damn, like, oh, now I know what she's about, kind of thing. So I thought it was just super like,
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
was her
impactful.
actually second first pitch with the Houston Astros. She
Yeah.
did one a few years back.
which I also think she
before
did
the
like a
Olympics.
backflip for her, like she did a flip
Yeah,
for too.
she's just awesome. I
I'm
love
not
her.
gonna lie, my favorite part of that video was like the end when she went to like give the ball to the pitcher and the height difference.
Oh my God, I
She's
know.
so little, it's so cute.
And like
Yeah.
baseball players don't even like
They're not
have
known
to be
for being,
tall.
like,
He's
yeah.
not that tall, but she's like
She's just
4
so
foot
tiny.
8. I know, it's amazing.
She's 4'6",
four-
I think.
4'8".
4'8"? Okay. Yeah, she's like,
So, like,
4'8" can do
She
way more
is-
than
I
we
think
can all
she's
do.
a pitcher.
powerhouse.
I think the
Yeah.
pitcher was like 6'2", or whoever caught the first pitch was like 6'2". It's like he's not that tall, but he looks like a
Aw.
giant beside her.
compared to her.
yeah, I love her. Just like as a person too, she's so humble. She always says,
That's what I was gonna say.
"Oh,
Yeah.
like I
She's
thought
a great human being.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, like and just watching
Yeah.
interviews, she just seems super.
she's
amazing.
good on and
humble,
off the floor.
honest. She's
Yeah.
just like, oh, like I did well, but I could have done better. Even though she's like the best gymnast in history, it's like okay,
I also
whatever.
like read a quote from her that said, "Oh, like people think it's really cocky when you say that like you're the best gymnast in the world," but then she's like, "Well, I have
am.
done it. I have won the medals, so like I am the best
You're
gymnast in the
allowed to
world,
say
and I
it.
can say it." And she takes pride in that. So I think
Oh,
that's really
good.
cool.
Yeah.
We can all look up to athletes like her.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening today. I think next week we're going to try and get a guest on if we can. I think that would be a really interesting
Miss Laurel,
discussion.
Miss Laurel Walzak.
our prof.
We'll see. We'll see.
She walked
If
by
not-
earlier. I saw her.
We should have waved. Come in right now.